Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Pardon me. I think I need some extra magnesium. Yeah, I'm feeling a little tense. That's what I want to talk to you about. Hi, everybody. I'm Ricky Heller from rickyheller.com. And if you're feeling a little stressed out, like you need to chew your nails or just tense, or if you find that you're having those little spasms that people get in their feet and legs where, your toes kind of go crazy and you got to stop and massage, that could be a sign that you're not getting enough magnesium. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, and particularly magnesium for people on an anti-candida diet, because even if you're not dealing with candida, magnesium is one of those essential minerals that is so important for our health. It's a key ingredient in our bone matrix. So you need magnesium for healthy bones. You need magnesium for a healthy cardiovascular system and a well-functioning immune system, and for anti-inflammatory effects, and it helps to relax muscles. So magnesium is one of those nutrients that is essential for so many functions. It's used for so many things, and yet, according to one study I read, up to 50% of us in North America are not getting enough magnesium. If you're dealing with candida, that percentage is much higher. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why that you might not, it might be useful if you're dealing with candida, but I also wanted to share with you some ways that you can increase the magnesium in your diet. So first of all, I see three major effects on candida, or three major impacts on people with candida. The first one that's the most important is the fact that there is a toxin called acetaldehyde that is produced by the candida organism as it dies off. So if you're trying to rid your body of candida and you're going through, antifungals and all of this battle to kill off the candida, what may happen is that your body is going to be exposed to more and more acetaldehyde. And acetaldehyde is responsible for those symptoms like foggy brain and feeling drunk and all of those mental changes that we hate with candida. But that's an overabundance of the acetaldehyde. So what you want to do is support all of your body's mechanisms for removing it from the body. And the enzyme that's responsible for that is aided by magnesium. So if you don't have enough magnesium and you're dealing with candida, you may be feeling worse than you need to because those toxins aren't being excreted efficiently enough. So up your magnesium, that's going to help get rid of those. A second really important connection to candida is what I started off talking about, stress. Because like most of us in the modern world, people with candida are stressed, but people with candida may be even more stressed. You feel like crap. You have a whole new diet to suddenly work out. You got to keep track of all these dozens of supplements, or so it seems. You're not able to function at work efficiently. Sometimes finances are going to become a problem because you're going to all these different practitioners who tell you there's nothing wrong with you. So if you're dealing with candida, stress is a huge factor. And it's just a fact of life and a fact of our bodies that our bodies tend to eat up magnesium when we're stressed. So if you're stressed, you're going to be depleting your magnesium stores to begin with. You need to add more to keep that balance. So candida and stress, definitely want to increase your magnesium. The third thing is that for many people with candida, and it's not true of everyone, but for many people with candida, constipation becomes an issue. And that's part and parcel of having your digestive system out of whack. So if that's the case for you, magnesium can really help. One of the first ways to address constipation that holistic nutritionists use is increasing magnesium intake. So by increasing your magnesium, you may be dealing with constipation. You're going to help to alleviate that symptom as well. So those are three really important ways that magnesium is crucial for somebody with candida. So, okay, whether or not you have candida, because even if you don't, you up to 50% of us are deficient. So what can you do to increase the magnesium? Well, for me, always the number one method that I like to use is food, because I love food and I will do almost anything to get food and play with my food and eat my food. So what are some of the best sources that you can consume of magnesium? This one surprised me, but the first and like the best source of magnesium in the diet is seaweed, also known as sea vegetables. Now, before you go, ooh, I could never eat sea vegetables, for those sushi lovers out there, remember that that's exactly what your sushi is wrapped up in, nori sheets, which are seaweed. So if you're a sushi lover, go for it. Eat more sushi. If you're not a sushi lover, I would say give it a try. Give seaweed a try. And there are many other kinds of seaweed and many ways to incorporate seaweed into your diet. My personal favorite is arame. It's called arame, and it's dehydrated, but it looks like a kind of black spaghetti when you rehydrate it and use it in the food. And I like arame because it has the mildest flavor of all the seaweeds, and it's still going to give you a good source of magnesium. Kelp, the seaweed called kelp, is actually the highest source of magnesium, but arame is good, wakame is good, dulse is good, any kind of seaweed. And I'm going to share a recipe with you for a kale and arame salad that I have on my blog. I'll share it up here or up here, wherever there's more space, because it's just delicious, it's easy, and it's a great way for someone who hasn't had seaweed before to be introduced to it because it is so yummy. So I'll put that up here. And the next category I want to talk about, I also just mentioned in that salad because it's dark leafy greens. Any dark leafy green is going to give you magnesium in a good amount, but of the dark leafies, kale is actually #1. It's the best source of magnesium. So if you're not on the kale train yet, I would say hop on and give it a try. Kale is my absolute favorite green leafy vegetable. I love it. I eat it several times a week. I try to eat leafy greens at least once a day, often twice a day. But so I eat a lot of kale. And the beauty of kale is that it's a very hardy green. So you can chop up kale and put in a salad. And even if you dress that salad, it is going to stay firm for 3 or 4 days in the refrigerator. So you can make a huge batch and then save it and eat it over several days. One of my favorite kale recipes is called Kale Salad Fully Loaded, and it's got kale and all kinds of beautiful, bright colored vegetables, some fruit, and it's on my blog. So again, I'm going to share that with you right here as well. And if you haven't tried kale, it's a great way to give it a try. Even if you have tried kale, it's a great way to enjoy it. Other dark leafies that are good, chard, collard greens, spinach, of course, and even romaine lettuce. So if it's a dark leafy green, it's going to be a good source of magnesium for your diet as well. Next up would be beans and legumes, dried beans and legumes. So navy beans, they're those little white beans. I don't know why they're called navy because they're white, but those little white beans that they often make baked beans out of, those are the highest source of magnesium from among the beans and legumes. But again, they all offer you a good amount of magnesium. So things like black beans, kidney beans, lentils are also a great source, and soybeans. Particularly if you happen to be a tofu eater, as I am. If you buy tofu that is cultured with magnesium chloride, that's going to up the magnesium content in the tofu, and it's going to give you a really good source of magnesium there. One other category that I think is really important is nuts and seeds. So all nuts and seeds will have a little bit. Hemp seeds are a good source, but the #1 source of magnesium from among the seeds is pumpkin seeds, which are so much fun to eat in the fall. So pumpkin seeds, just 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds is going to give you 48% of your daily needs for magnesium. So you snack on 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds, you're already halfway there. Great source of magnesium. And again, I'm going to share another recipe with you for a pumpkin seed pesto that's on my blog. I'll put the link here. And, you know, it's a great way. I use pumpkin seed pesto instead of tomato sauce on my pizza. I just put it on the pizza and veggies on top of that. You can put your pumpkin seed pesto on a kale leaf and add some tofu to it. You've got a yummy wrap, and 3, you're tripling your sources of magnesium. So that's a great way to get it as well. And then the final source of magnesium that I want to talk about today is one of my favorite foods, probably my favorite food of all time, of course. I'm talking about chocolate. So chocolate, if you consume dark chocolate, it's a good source of magnesium, but it's really the cacao in it, the cacao powder or the cocoa powder, that is the primary source. So if you're on an anti-candida diet, of course you don't want to eat anything sweetened, with sugar. So you want to start with the raw cacao, cacao powder, cacao nibs, or what they have out now called cacao paste, which basically just looks like unsweetened dark chocolate. I also have a great recipe for homemade chocolate. So for someone on an anti-candida diet, if you don't want to add any additional sweeteners besides stevia, this recipe is for you, and you can find it right here. So we got lots of recipes today, but cacao is really one of the better ways, the more enjoyable ways to get your magnesium as well. So those are all things that you can incorporate into the diet, add to your menu, so that you will increase the magnesium in your life. The last thing I want to say is, if for whatever reason, I know sometimes when I'm traveling, I can't eat the foods that I would make at home, you might need to supplement with supplements. And again, that's something I would always check with your practitioner before you start taking new supplements. But magnesium, generally for most people, they would start with around 200 milligrams. And according to the experts, you can take up to 1,500 milligrams a day of magnesium. The best kind for my purposes would be magnesium citrate, because it's well absorbed and it works best in the intestinal tract. If you're dealing with something like constipation, it's the best one for something like that. So magnesium citrate, and I tend to take tablets because I don't like capsules. So I would start with 200 milligrams in the morning. And particularly if you're feeling stressed out, taking magnesium right before bed is a great way to help relax the body as you go to sleep. And it can really help with that. If someone has insomnia, or if you find your mind's racing at night, magnesium at night is really useful as well. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope you got some good information. And as I said, I'm going to put any other links down below, and recipes you can find up there. And please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, or feel free to share this with anyone else that you know who would benefit from this information. Okay, everybody, I'm going off to eat some chocolate and relax, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Oops. See ya.